Imagine a machine so advanced, so cutting-edge, that it redefines what's possible in the skies. A game-changer that's not just a fighter jet, but a symbol of absolute dominance in air warfare. That's the F-47, the United States' next big leap in military aviation, announced by none other than President Donald Trump on May 21, 2025, right from the White House. He called it unlike anything else in the world, and honestly, who can argue when you're talking about a sixth-generation fighter jet built to keep America ahead in the global arms race? So what makes the F-47 so special, and why is it such a big deal? Let's dive into the story of this incredible machine and the high-stakes race to control the skies of the 21st century. To understand the F-47, we need to rewind a bit and talk about how we got here. Back in 2005, the U.S. was the undisputed king of the skies with its fifth-generation fighters, the F-22 Raptor and later the F-35 Lightning II. These jets set the standard for modern air combat with their stealth, insane maneuverability, and sensor systems that were light years ahead of the competition. For nearly 2 decades, they gave the U.S. a massive edge in air superiority. It wasn't until 2017 that China caught up, rolling out their Chengdu J-20, the first non-American fifth-generation stealth fighter. Then in 2020, Russia joined the party with their Sukhoi Su-57, throwing down a direct challenge to U.S. dominance. Other players started emerging too, Turkey with their TFX Khan, India with the AMCA, China's J-35, and Russia's Su-75 Checkmate, all promising, all ambitious, but none could quite match the F-22 or F-35 when it came to stealth and avionics. The U.S. still held a solid lead, but the gap was starting to close. Now, the race for sixth-generation fighters is heating up, and it's no longer just America's show. Over in Europe, France, Germany, and Spain are teaming up through Dassault Aviation and Airbus on the Future Combat Air System, or FCAS, to replace the Eurofighter Typhoon. Meanwhile, the UK and Italy's BAE Systems and Leonardo are working on Tempest, another sixth-generation project takeover from the Typhoon. By 2022, Tempest merged with the Japanese FX program, becoming the Global Combat Air Program, or GCAP. But the real wild card is China. Their defense industry has been growing at breakneck speed, and on December 26, 2025, they shocked the world by test flying 2 mysterious new aircraft. No prior leaks, no fanfare, just 2 prototypes spotted in the skies, rumored to be the Chengdu J-36 and Shenyang J-50, China's own sixth-generation fighters. The race is on, and it's intense, quiet, and full of surprises. Who's going to cross the finish line first? That's still anyone's guess. With competitors closing in, the U.S. knew they had to step up their game to stay ahead. Enter the Next Generation Air Dominance Program, or NGAD, the backbone of America's future air strategy and the birthplace of the F-47. This isn't just about building a new jet, it's about creating an entire system to dominate the skies. The seeds for NGAD were planted between 2010 and 2014 when the Pentagon started talking about Penetrating Counter-Air, or PCA. They saw the need for a fighter that could punch through sophisticated enemy defenses, survive in contested environments, and tackle advanced anti-access area denial systems, especially in places like the Indo-Pacific, where China and Russia are flexing their muscles. The F-22, as awesome as it is, has limits on upgrades, and the F-35, while versatile, isn't designed to rule the skies outright. So, in 2014, the Defense Advanced Research Agency, DARPA, and the U.S. Air Force kicked off NGAD with a clear goal: build not just a fighter, but a whole ecosystem to replace the F-22 and complement the F-35. NGAD got a massive budget, $9 billion by 2025, and the Air Force kept the project under tight wraps. No one knew who the main contractor was or what the jet would look like. Then, in September 2020, they dropped a bombshell. A prototype had already flown successfully. No pictures, no details, just a cryptic announcement to keep everyone guessing. By 2022 and 2023, the Pentagon poured even more money into NGAD, with estimates hitting $20 billion, signaling this was a make-or-break program for the post-F-22 era. NGAD isn't just one jet, it's a family of systems, including a manned fighter to replace the F-22, collaborative counter-aircraft, or CCAs, advanced sensors, weapons, AI, and cutting-edge data links. The Air Force planned to pick a main contractor by 2024, with 3 heavyweights in the running: Lockheed Martin, the brains behind the F-22 and F-35, Northrop Grumman, makers of the stealthy B-2 Spirit bomber, and Boeing, known for the 737 MAX, but also no stranger to defense projects, despite some rocky technical issues. Things took a twist in July 2024 when Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall announced a pause on the manned component of NGAD. Why?
Cost. A single sixth-generation fighter was projected to cost $300 million, doubled the F-22 and tripled the F-35. That's a tough pill to swallow when budgets are tight. But then China's surprise reveal of the J-36 and J-50 prototypes in December 2025 lit a fire under the program. Those Chinese jets look like serious contenders, and the U.S. couldn't afford to fall behind. Fast forward to May 21, 2025, and President Trump made it official. Boeing had beaten Lockheed Martin to become the lead contractor for NGAD's centerpiece, the F-47. Trump called the number 47 beautiful, and it's loaded with meaning. It's a nod to the P-47 Thunderbolt, a legendary World War II fighter, 1947, the year that U.S. Air Force was established, and, not so coincidentally, Trump's position as the 47th president. So what's the F-47 all about? It's not just a jet, it's a revolution in air combat. Picture this, a fighter that doesn't fly solo, but acts as an airborne command center, powered by advanced AI to process information and make split-second decisions. It's surrounded by a swarm of smart drones called collaborative combat aircraft, carrying sensors and weapons. These drones work with ground stations, early warning aircraft, and satellites to form a digital pack where humans, AI, and machines operate in perfect sync. The key is a tactical data link system that shares real-time intel across air, sea, and land units. If a drone, satellite, or ground radar picks up a target, the F-47's pilot knows about it instantly and can make decisions on the fly. They can direct drones to engage, let the AI handle tactical hauls, or coordinate complex attacks. It's like playing a high-stakes video game, except the battlefield is real, and the stakes are global dominance. Here's how it might work in action. A drone scouts ahead, gathering data on enemy positions. The AI processes it, picks targets, and either triggers smart weapons or feeds precise coordinates to the F-47. The pilot could then deploy a decoy drone to confuse enemy radar, maneuver to new angle, and take out the target with GPS-guided bombs, all while staying stealthy. The F-47 doesn't need to use its active radar, which could give away its position, because the drones act as its remote eyes, handling risky tasks like signal jamming or data collection in hot zones. With just 2 drones, the F-47 can outmaneuver enemies with ease. Add 3 or 4, and it's a nightmare for opponents who can't keep up with the swarm's unpredictable tactics.
To pull off these mind-bending tactics, the F-47 has to be a technological beast, and its design is unlike anything we've seen before. If you put it next to an F-22 Raptor, the best stealth fighter out there today, you'd notice some wild differences. The F-47 ditches the vertical and horizontal tail fins you'd expect on a traditional jet. Why? Those fins increase your radar cross-section, making you easier to spot. Instead, the F-47 goes for a sleek, smooth, diamond-shaped design with sharp angled lines that deflect radar waves away rather than bouncing them back. Think of it like a ninja in the sky. Slippery, hard to pin down. Compared to older jets with antennas sticking out, everything on the F-47, from radar to electronic warfare systems, is tucked neatly inside to keep its outer shell as flat and featureless as possible. On top of that is coated with a next-gen radar-absorbing material that's even better than what's on the F-22, cutting down its infrared and electromagnetic signatures. The result? A radar cross-section reportedly smaller than the F-22's already tiny 0.001 square meters. That's stealth on a whole new level. But here's the catch. Designing a jet for ultimate stealth comes with trade-offs. Those tail fins on older jets help with stability and maneuverability, especially at low speeds or during high-angle turns. Without them, the F-47 could get wobbly, risking loss of control in tight dogfights or tricky maneuvers. To counter this, the F-47 leans heavily on advanced fly-by-wire systems and integrated control surfaces on its main wings. There's also buzz, though not confirmed, that it might use fixed canards, those small forward wings, to boost lift and control during high-angle moves or low-speed flight. Canards could help the F-47 pull off crazy stunts like quick spins or missile-dodging twists, which is huge in modern combat. The downside? They might slightly increase the radar signature, especially from side angles. If the F-47 has canards, it's a bold trade-off between staying invisible and flying like a dream. Range is another big focus for the U.S. military with this jet. They want the F-47 to go farther than any fifth-generation fighter. The F-22 can hit a combat radius of about 3,000 kilometers with external fuel tanks, and the F-35 manages around 2,200 kilometers. The F-47, it's rumored to push past 4,000 kilometers without needing mid-air refueling. That's a game changer for operations in vast regions like the Pacific, where long distances are a constant challenge. To make this happen, the F-47 likely uses one of two cutting-edge engines, General Electric's XA-102 or Pratt & Whitney's XA-103, both part of the Air Force's Adaptive Cycle Engine Transition Program. These engines are a big deal because they're adaptive cycle engines, meaning they can switch modes on the fly to optimize for range, speed, or fuel efficiency. The F-47 can reportedly hit Mach 2, about 2,470 kilometers per hour, and cruise at supersonic speeds without afterburners, with something the F-22 can't do. That not only saves fuel, but also cuts down on the heat signature, making it harder for enemy sensors to lock on. Oh, and the S-shaped air intakes hide the engine blades, which are a major radar reflection point, further boosting stealth. But the real magic of the F-47 isn't its speed or stealth, it's the tech inside. This jet is like a flying supercomputer, built to dominate the battlefield through information and coordination. Its AI isn't just a fancy co-pilot, it's a game changer that analyzes data in real time, suggests tactics, and can even prioritize targets or handle threats automatically. The AI runs the show for the collaborative combat aircraft, those smart drones we talked about, letting the F-47 pilot command a swarm with minimal effort. In a fight, the AI could split drones into groups for recon, electronic jamming, or kamikaze strikes, all coordinated seamlessly from the cockpit. The F-47's radar is another leap forward. Unlike the X-band radars on the F-22 and F-35, this one operates across multiple frequency bands at once, making it better at spotting stealthy enemies designed to dodge traditional radars. With AI crunching the data, it can predict enemy moves, jam their sensors with tailor interference, and track multiple targets with pinpoint accuracy. Then there's the sensor suite. The F-47 fuses data from infrared, optical, electronic, and radar sensors into a single 360-degree view of the battlefield, displayed through an AI-driven interface. This isn't like older jets where pilots had to juggle separate sensor feeds. Here, everything's combined into a clear, real-time picture, letting the pilot react faster to threats or opportunities. The F-47 also ties into a broader combat network, acting as the hub that shares data with satellites, ships, ground stations, and other aircraft. It doesn't just receive intel, it sends it out, making it the nerve center of joint air, sea, and land operations. The key to this is advanced data links, likely wielding on NATO's Link 16 system, which transfers tactical info at 238 kilobits per second with low latency and encrypted frequency-hopping signals to avoid jamming. For stealthy comms between F-47s, there's also the Multifunction Advanced Data Link, or MAD link, which is even more secure and harder to detect. On the electronic warfare front, the F-47 is loaded with tricks to outsmart enemies. It has radar warning systems to spot incoming threats, automated countermeasures to redirect infrared-guided missiles, and decoys to fool radar-guided ones. It can also actively jam enemy radars with targeted interference, adapting to their signals on the fly. This makes the F-47 a nightmare to target in modern combat, where electronic warfare is as critical as raw power. And here's the kicker. All these systems are built on an open architecture. Unlike the F-22's rigid setup, the F-47 software and hardware are modular, with standardized interfaces that work with gear from different contractors. This makes upgrades a breeze, keeps costs down, and ensures the jet stays cutting edge without needing a full redesign. Security's tight, too, with isolated modules to block cyber attacks, so the F-47 can evolve with new tech while staying locked down. Beyond the battlefield, the F-47 is set to spark a tech revolution. Its development will drive advances in AI, lightweight materials, avionics, and autonomous navigation, rippling out to industries far beyond defense. Allies might even get in on the action, customizing the F-47 for their needs, or joining the supply chain, turning it into a global project. With its flexible design, this jet could stay dominant for decades without a full overhaul, which is huge when defense budgets demand long-term value. In an era where air superiority hinges on processing power, cross-domain coordination, and adaptability, the F-47 is a shining star. But with the arms race heating up, can it hold the lead for decades, or is it just a stepping stone, something even wilder? Only time will tell.